We think of the stories of Tata Nelson Mandela and any other people. Imagine where we would be if they had given up.
Sure.
Right? So giving up is not an option. That's the first thing. But then someone who's unemployed, who's struggling with load shedding, I want to study at night, but the lights are not coming back. I want to give up. I would say this to them. You don't know the power inside yourself. When you are facing obstacles, like you're homeless, you're broken, unemployed, like this, there is so much in you. That's the human spirit of wanting to overcome. So it's about remaining hopeful. How do you remain hopeful? You go into your story. You say, okay, I want to quit. Things are tough. But let me look in my past. What other obstacles have I faced?
We are out at the Raising Beyond Leadership Summit here at Focus Rooms. We come into you live from Focus Rooms. And in case you don't know me, my name is Tuso Mutsumani, Mr. Under Construction SA. So, the topic today, I'm here with Dr. Max, by the way. Dr. Max, how are you doing before I go
good. Excited, inspired. What a wonderful evening we have had so far. Very happy to be here.
I'm also very happy to be here and having heard your story. The topic is all about legacy, diversity, and entrepreneurship. Né? And I like what you were speaking about, and your message was mainly towards people who I think you touched on unemployment and being grateful. How does being grateful influence the situation of someone who's unemployed and watching this? How does it benefit them?
What a wonderful question. So what it does is this. Being grateful, it doesn't take away the fact that you're unemployed. But what it does a few things. The first one, you say, I may be unemployed, but I've got a roof over my head. I may be unemployed, but I have 1 meal in the evening, if you have that, for example. Or I've got a loving family. And so, when you are in that mindset of being grateful, it reduces the stress of being unemployed. So it's almost like a coping strategy to the stress of unemployed. When you reduce that stress, you are able to think a little bit more clearer, right, around being creative, around how you can address the issue of being unemployed. Let me give you a practical example. A few years ago, I met a young person, Ayanda Mbata, and he often talks at my classes at Gibbs. And he's an example of that. So he was so stressed, he was retrenched, it was his first job. And through the help of his family, being grateful that I've got something to eat, my mom is supporting my siblings. He says it himself. I was less stressed about not having a job. I was grateful for what I had. It allowed me to be creative. And he came up with this idea of going and standing at the corner of Catherine and West Streets in Sandton with a board saying, I'm unemployed, hire me, go to my LinkedIn, here's my number. 3 months later, he had a job. So what we are saying is when you are grateful, you just gain a different perspective that says, I'm not the only one who's unemployed. It creates space for being creative around the job hunting or just creative around solving the problem that you are facing.
Wow, that's amazing, man. Like, it gives you perspective.
It gives you perspective.
I like that. And you also spoke about resilience, man, and the importance of resilience. And it's also something that we must carry as young people or as people who are unemployed. So with someone that's actually speaking, like who's unemployed right now, again, speaking to someone, maybe tell them their story that when you say be resilient, where does it come from? Or when you speak about that situation of it gives you perspective so that they can understand it's coming from a man, like in a nutshell, like telling your story from where you used to be to where you are shortly.
Yeah, of course, wonderful. So I think the beauty of these platforms that we get to share our stories, I think what they do is they connect us to other people. And not only that, we move away from seeing Dr. Max, senior lecturer at Gibbs or CEO at Momentum at some point, to getting to know how did this person get there. So for me, when I talk about resilience, I'm not just talking because I teach it at Gibbs. I have experienced it. So finish my trick. good marks, no money to go to university. Way back in 1991, no money to go to Technicon, unemployed for 6 months. Can you think about that? It's hard. You've got good grades. Other people like you, they are Technicon, they are at university. You are struggling. So that's the first thing. Got a job as a barman. I never said when I grow up I want to be a barman, but I took what was there to move me forward. Except this job as a barman in Kirkwood, the Eastern Cape. Sadly, drinking on the job, I got fired. But that sad moment turned out to also be a blessing in disguise, because out of being fired for drinking on the job, with the little money that I had, I decided to go to Johannesburg. I ended up first in Bloemfontein because I didn't have enough money to get to Johannesburg. Right? In Bloemfontein, boom, I'm homeless for 6 weeks. Meaning I slept at the train station in Bloemfontein. I'm door to door looking for work in Bloemfontein. Later, but after about 2 weeks, found a job at a small fish and chip shop. I want to pause. Here you are unemployed. You are a young person. Are you prepared with your matric, with your grade 10, to work in a fish and chip shop, mopping the floor, washing dishes, taking trash out? What I'm saying is, resilience means we accept our situation. To move forward, we just take anything that's available. So I take this job, I work for a month there, I save enough money, I carry on to Johannesburg. I arrive in Johannesburg, it's difficult to find work, stay briefly with my aunt, and I end up homeless. Not for 6 weeks like in Bloemfontein, for 7 months, 28 weeks. Sleeping at Park Station mostly, sleeping at Joburg Park, sleeping in the toilets at Carlton Center. So when I talk about resilience, I know what it takes to overcome adversity. It's a skill to overcome adversity. So I've overcome it. How did I overcome it? A person by the name of Evelyn introduced me to selling fruit and veggies. So did I say when I grow up with my good matric, I want to sell fruit and veggies? No. It was the thing that was there to move me forward. So, barman, that was not my end goal. Working in a fish and chip shop, that was not my end goal. Selling fruit and veggies, that is not my end goal. So my message to you, as a young person who's going through obstacles, perhaps unemployment, are you prepared to take something that Amatita or other people who laugh at you, say, hey, look at that guy, this is what he's doing, but you've got a vision. It takes you forward. So resilience means vision. Resilience means taking perspective. This is my situation. I'll take something that's low. People can judge me, I don't care, but it's going to take me forward, right? Vision means asking for help. Talking to other people about your situation. I met Evelyn, I met Miss Zimmerman, they helped me. That is why today I can say vision, being hopeful, optimism, connecting with other people, accepting your reality but remaining hopeful. That's what resilience is about, and that's what helped me. Further on, from selling fruit and veggies, I meet another person. They say, but you've got good matric. Why are you selling fruit and veggies? Why don't you go to university? I say, no, I don't have the money. They say, you don't need the money. Go to the South African Institute of Race Relations, apply for a bursary. I apply for a bursary. I applied VETS. Boom, February 94. First year at VETS University, studying actuarial science. Then I finished my degree, honors in maths or finance, started working, studied part-time, masters in finance, professional qualifications like certified financial planner, moving up in the corporate world because of those resources when things were tough, all the way to being CEO of Momentum Administration Services, Chief Operating Officer of Momentum World, CEO of Momentum Middle Market, doing a PhD starting in 2015, getting my PhD in 2019, getting a job of being a lecturer. So you can think about being broke, being homeless, being unemployed, to being a student at university. From there to being a CEO, from there to being a lecturer. That's resilience in action. That's what I mean. But young people, be resilient. Take what is available. Use your skills. Sell veggies. Talk to other people. Just anything that can move you forward. You never know that first step where it takes you.
Wow, I like it. Like you heard the guy, I like the story. From Bloemfontein mopping floors to the streets of Johannesburg, to Wits University, to being the CEO of Momentum, to now being a lecturer at Gibbs. This is an amazing story that I think we can draw inspiration from. But before you go, one of the things I want to ask you is, we are in load shedding.
Yes.
And at Gibbs, you are lecturing people who are aspiring businessmen or businesswomen as well. There are people who are watching this that are in business, and that we are facing load shedding,
challenge,
and it's a big challenge for them. And most of them were in the township because sometimes electricity goes and doesn't come back after
long
2 hours.
time, yes.
Because sometimes they still it's worse because sometimes they still the cable and it takes 2 weeks for the government to fix it.
Yeah.
So for me, for someone like that who's really maybe discouraged or who's saying I want to quit, what would you say to that person?
So I would say 3 things, right? So I would say 1, stories of how other people have done things. So you heard my story. You think of the stories of Tata Nelson Mandela and any other people. Imagine where we would be if they had given up, right? So giving up is not an option. That's the first thing. But then someone who's unemployed, who's struggling with load shedding, I want to study at night, but the lights are not coming back. I want to give up. I would say this to them. You don't know the power inside yourself. When you are facing obstacles, like you're homeless, you're broken, unemployed, there is so much in you. That's the human spirit of wanting to overcome. So it's about remaining hopeful. How do you remain hopeful? You go into your story. You say, okay, I want to quit. Things are tough. But let me look in my past. What other obstacles have I faced? What did I overcome them?
Wow.
So use your story to move you forward, because being unemployed was not the first challenge. I had failed at school. You failed maths. This subject is difficult. Maybe you were bullied at school. Maybe the teacher told you will never amount to anything, right? Maybe you've got a difficult challenge in your home, like me. My father was alcoholic, so it was a challenge in our household. You go back and say, but I'm here. I overcome that. I think I can draw from that story to move forward. Then you talk to other people. You're resourceful. You ask for help. And that helps you to remain hopeful. And don't quit. Because if we quit, we would not have the democracy. If all the struggle heroes, Tata Nelson Mandela, Thabo Mbeki, we wouldn't be here. They didn't quit. And you have power inside yourself. So use your story plus your vision where you want to go. That will make you not quit.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mags. I like the...
Thank you for the work you are doing. So inspiring. And keep on doing the good work.
Yeah, man.
People.
Yeah, thank you very much. We love your story, guys. Like he said, I just want to reiterate the points that he spoke about, that draw from your past, what have you overcome, and that you are capable. Draw from within and draw from other people's stories. And he just gave a talk about self-mastery. And one of the things that he said that will stay with me forever, he said, your story matters. So I want to say to someone out there that your story matters. So don't abort your vision. Don't abort your vision.
Yes.
Continue.
I love that.
Carry that vision, and you will surely succeed. I mean, we're sitting with someone that was homeless right now. So his testament that if you are resilient, if you hold on to that vision, and if, like you say, you surround yourself with people, because you need people to help you. That's what you say. And you remain hopeful. We're going far. This has been an amazing episode of Under Construction SA with A2. Hi, we'll see you on the flip side.